we will be looking at the missing number problem and build a solution in JavaScript. Before jumping into the solution aspect, let us try to understand the problem statement. We will be given a nums array which is going to have distinct numbers going from 0 to n. And these integers are going to be in an unsorted order. It's not going to be a sorted array. And the aim here is to find the missing number from this array that we have received. So let's say we have received 3, 0 and 1. Let's start going from 0. So we have 0, after that comes 1, 2 is missing here. So the outcome should be 2. This is the aim, that we have to find the distinct number and return that distinct number from this array that we have received. How do we approach this problem statement? What we can do is use something called as the Gauss Formula, which states that summation that goes from I is equal to 0 up to n is going to be n into n plus 1 by 2. And using this formula, we can try to find what is the missing number. What does this mean? What this means is, if we know what the sum is going to be of the input that we have received without the distinct number that is missing, then we can subtract it from the actual sum that is supposed to be there to find our missing number. So what we can do is n into n plus 1 by 2 minus the sum should give us the missing number that exists in this array that we have received. And that will look something like this. So let's just add up everything. We will say 3 plus 0 plus 1, that gives us 4. So the sum is 4. Now from the input that we have received, what we can do is pick up what is our n going to be. For this unique numbers that is missing the unique distinct value that we are supposed to find, the length we will just pick up. So like 0, 1, 2, that gives us like length is 3. So we will say 3 into 3 plus 1 by 2, which is going to give us 6. And then this 6 we are going to subtract from 4, which is going to give us 2, which is going to be a missing number. And that's pretty much it in terms of implementation that we are looking for. We want to find what our n is. Our n is going to be the length of the input that we have received. And we have to also compute sum of all the values that we have in the input, which is missing one number. And that sum we can just do something like this. For let num of our nums that we have received, I can just say sum plus equals the num that we have received. And then in the end, we will just return, as we said, n into n plus 1 by 2 minus the sum, which is going to look something like this. So, and that's pretty much it in terms of implementation that we are looking for. In terms of the time complexity that is going to be involved here, the time complexity of this formula is just big O of 1, but we don't know what the sum is. So to compute the sum, we are going to go through big O of n, because based on the number of inputs that we have, we are doing the sum of all the inputs. So that time complexity is going to be big O of n. That's why big O of n plus big O of 1 is going to give us the overall time complexity of big O of n. Then comes the space complexity part. The space complexity that is going to be involved here is going to be big O of 1, because we're just using n here and one sum, and this sum is just going to keep on incrementing by the time we reach the end of the array. And then we're just performing this operation here, which is not saving anything in terms of storage, you're just computing and returning. So big O of 1 in that sense. And that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.